Welcome to another video. My name is Jacques and today we're going to be looking at the M801P wireless gaming mouse from Redragon. Now we're going to be looking at the pros and the cons and see whether or not this game is worthy of the Sniper Pro name assigned to it. So let's get into it. So first up, this mouse sells for about $50 or 1,000 Rand in South Africa, which makes it one of the cheaper wireless gaming mouses out there. In the box you have the mouse, the wireless adapter, a braided USB-C cable for use to charge the mouse or to use it in wired mode if that is something that you want, a manual, and a sticker. Now the mouse works on Windows Vista, XP, 7, 8, or 10 and measures at 122mm long, 82mm wide, and 42mm high. Taking a look at the design, this mouse is definitely on the bigger side, especially if you compare them to other wireless gaming mouses like the SteelSeries Rival 650, the Glorious Model O, or even the Logitech G Pro. Now this mouse does have RGB backlighting, which is featured on the logo, the scroll wheel, the side trim, and even these grills on the front, which I kind of really like, and they really reminded me of the Redragon K596 RGB wireless keyboard, which I was also a big fan of. When picking up the mouse, the entire mouse, as well as all of the buttons, do feel like good quality, and the mouse doesn't feel like a cheap mouse, but rather an expensive one that is kind of sold cheaply. The M801P measures in at 118 grams when I measured it, which puts it on an average weight when it comes to wireless mouses, especially taking that my Rival 650 weighs in at 121 grams without the weights, and then you still have a few weights that you can actually add to it. Now the M801P has an ergonomic design with a thumb rest, which helps add to the look of this mouse being big, as it's not as slim as normal mouses, but the thumb rest does help with actually resting your thumb and keeping it off of the mouse pad when you're gaming or when you're just generally using it, making it easier to slide across the mouse pad. Now on the bottom of the mouse you will find Teflon pads, which makes it easier to slide when in use. And on the bottom you'll also find mode switch, an on and off switch, which features an on, off, and an eco mode. And all the eco mode really is it turns off the RGB to conserve power. Now what I really like about this mode is it makes it easy to turn off the RGB to conserve battery life, even if you're in the middle of a game or in between games, without having to actually go into software and close down your games or anything else. You just flip over the mouse, switch it to eco, and there you have it. Now the M801P also has 3 thumb buttons as well as a fire button next to the left mouse button for use in games and can be programmed to any sort of macro that you need. Another feature that I really enjoyed but wasn't really needed is the on-the-fly DPI change button, which allows you to change your DPI in increments, and it has this handy little LED indicator to tell you on which one you actually are without having to go into any software. Now in the software you can actually change the increments of your DPI and you can set it to whatever you need or want, and that means you can have 4 or 5 different DPIs for different things, and you can just change them on the fly and easily know which one you are on by the indication of the LED light on the mouse. Now I have to say the LED lights are really the thing that made this feature for me really good, as that is one thing that you can really get confused with is, did I accidentally press this button? Did I accidentally change my DPI? And with those increment lights you can actually see which one you're on, and if you accidentally press the button you also don't have to go through the entire sequence because there's 2 buttons, one to go up and one to go down, so you don't have to go through all of them. You can just go 1 step back or 1 step forward. Now the battery in this mouse is a 1000 milliamp lithium ion battery, which should last you up to 35 hours, they say, and I'm taking that as with the RGB off. The DPI can be set to 16,000, and you can also go into the software and change those manually. The switches are rated for 20 million clicks, and the RGB is 16.8 million colors, which can also be changed in the software. Now all of this means nothing if the mouse doesn't perform well and doesn't feel well, so let's actually go and test this mouse. Now while using this mouse in everyday use it performed really well, it felt responsive, it slid easy on the mousepad, and design really felt nice in the hand for everyday use. Now the scroll wheel grip feels nice and scrolls easily, and all of the buttons are easily reachable, except for this little fire button here at the top, as I feel like I have to stretch my finger very far to actually reach that. So for me, I'll never really use that in game or anywhere else where I need to be able to press that quickly, because that will kind of shift my hand and it will take more effort than needed. And then as well as this little back button here on the mouse, I feel it's a little too far back. So I end up having to like move my hand back a little to actually press that button. But apart from that, all of the buttons feel good and all of the buttons press easily and can easily be reached. Now I do have to add, with that little back button, it is much easier to press, especially if you start using claw grips, as the claw grip automatically kind of puts you in a rear position, which makes it a little easier to press. But in the normal ergonomic design way that they want you to hold the mouse, it is pretty hard to actually flex your thumb that far back. Now overall, the mouse does feel good in hand. It did perform really well in wired and wireless modes, and it didn't feel like I'm making such a big change, even though the mouse is very different from the one that I'm currently using. Now while gaming, the mouse did feel really responsive, and I didn't ever feel like the mouse was holding me back in any way. The mouse slid easily on the mouse pad, making the flicks precise and accurate, and the buttons felt easy to press with no noticeable delay in tracking or clicking, even in wireless mode. Now overall, I have to say the mouse performed really well for everyday use as well as gaming in both wired and wireless modes. And the design is good for both a standard and a claw type grip, with the exception of the front button being a little hard to reach, as well as that little third one there at the back. Now some of my favorite features are still the on-the-fly DPI buttons that you can actually change your DPI settings and have the LED show you where you are, as well as the eco switch at the bottom, which for me is still a game changer, as that makes it really easy to actually turn off your RGB and still save battery power without compromising on anything, because you can do it in the middle of a game or you can do it between games and you don't have to go out to actually go into the software. And for all those reasons and more, I can definitely say that this mouse is good for anyone who's looking for a good quality wireless gaming mouse without having to spend all of your money on that one peripheral. And if you're looking to pick one up, I left a link down in the description below, and any purchase with that link actually helps out the channel. So if you do make purchases with the link, thank you very much for supporting the channel. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, tell me down in the comment section below, what is your favorite feature of this mouse and would you actually pick one up? And then as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comment section below, or come and ask me while I'm live on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. South African time. Links to that is also down in the description below with all of my other social media platforms. So I hope to see you guys there. And until next time, cheers.